Hello and welcome to another ROFFS update of the ocean conditions using satellite sea surface temperature and ocean colored chlorophyll imagery from the weekend of April 6th through 7th. Overall, we're starting to observe some warming in the area with the Gulf Stream approximately 80 to 81 extending through the Florida Straits and then cooling to approximately um, 77 to 78, extending past North Carolina. We'll start to the south and work our way north. To the south off of the Keys here, we can see a relatively large eddy here circulating a filament of Gulf Stream associated water inshore, as well as a second one here, indicating action inshore as well as offshore along this main Gulf Stream edge here. Looking north, it appears there's another eddy here off of the Key Largo area to the north. It's relatively difficult, but we can see the Gulf Stream is pushed offshore, indicating there are likely some eddies off of South Florida, and then a relatively large eddy here off of the Jupiter to Stewart area, as well as off of the Sebastian area here. A large eddy here off of Matanzas area north of Cape Canaveral there. A relatively large eddy here off of the Charleston, Georgetown area. The remnants of an eddy, a large eddy in the area. So we can see here the Gulf Stream is pushed relatively far offshore, but there isn't a relatively strong edge in here, indicating a well-formed eddy. So I would say it's maybe lower to mid 70s filament. That's still going to be good in here, but certainly not this nice warmer Gulf Stream water. To the north, we can see a relatively large rotation here off of in between Cape Hatteras and Cape Lookout, and then again a large eddy here with quite cool water extending south from the Labrador Current there. Looking at the sea surface temperature over at the Bahamas quickly, we can see kind of the normal counterclockwise rotation here in the channel. Some Gulf Stream associated water extending to the east off of Manila and then out to Abaco, and then a relatively large counterclockwise rotating eddy here. So this kind of cooler, cleaner water has been outside of Abaco for quite some time, indicating action along this edge here. And then looking at the corresponding data for chlorophyll, we'll zoom in here a little bit. Again, a relatively stable edge inshore off the Keys, but we can see this kind of offshore flow indicating the eddy filament here, kind of circulating that favorable water inshore. And then to the west, we can see, zoom in a little bit here, we can see some smaller eddies here off of South Florida. Again, that big easterly push of the Gulf Stream, and then the corresponding eddy filament circulating blue water inshore off of the Jupiter to Stewart area. To the north, again, we can see quite well defined here this large eddy extending with the leading edge, I would say, off of St. Augustine down to Cape Canaveral. This relatively large eddy here off of the leading edge here off of Georgetown, and then extending south off of Savannah, I would say. Again, these kind of weaker edges out here off of the Cape Fear to Cape Lookout area with some smaller eddies here. This little blob pushing inshore just north of Georgetown there. We can see the eddy here off of Raleigh Bay, and finally the eddy here north of Hatteras. Looking south, again we can see what we call this Bahamas blue water extend to the north from Eleuthera off of southern Abaco, and then rotate inshore off of northern Abaco and extend north to walkers and then along the eastern side of the Gulf Stream there. But for the most recent analysis for your area, please give us a call at 321-723-5759. You can order online at ROFFS.com, or you can, with any questions or comments, you can email us at fishing@roffs.com. Thank you very much. Ted.